Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Newsroom. I'm your host, Khalid. But today is Monday, the 10th of February, 2025, and these are the stories that we will be highlighting during the course of the show. We'll begin, ladies and gentlemen, with Pakistan's war against terrorism. This is no new topic as far as Pakistan is concerned. Specifically, during the last couple of months, we've been highlighting this war against terrorism and of course all the efforts that have been put forward by our defense forces in this regard, and all the members of the armed forces as well as the civilians whose lives have been lost in this very endeavor. Now we will be highlighting the different incidents that have recently happened, as well as the further proof of the Afghan government's involvement in this very nefarious incident, or this spate of incidents that have been happening in Pakistan. Two terrorists, one of whom was killed on the 6th of February, and another who was the son of a former governor, have now been formally handed over to the Afghan interim government, and they have accepted these bodies, which is also a direct or indirect proof of the fact that these people are theirs. And so therein lies the proof of what Pakistan has been saying all along as far as the involvement of the fitna al-Kharij emanating from Afghan soil is concerned. This is going to be our first segment. Our second segment concerns the IMF. A small delegation of the IMF is visiting Pakistan. It's a 3-member delegation that is visiting to conduct a governance and corruption diagnostic assessment under the EFF program, this new program that Pakistan has signed. We'll be highlighting different aspects of the endeavors that Pakistan has taken in this very regard, as well as Pakistan's economic growth as part of our second segment. Then we'll be talking about a maritime incident that has happened near the Libyan coast involving Pakistani national. Around 65 passengers have lost their lives because this vessel has capsized near the port of Marsadella in the northwest of Zawiya city in Libya. Our embassy in Tripoli is in contact, and of course we'll be also informing the relatives of those who have unfortunately lost their lives in this incident. Then we'll be talking about the 9th death anniversary of novelist Fatima Suraiya Bajia that is being observed across the world, including in Pakistan. We all know Bajiapa, we all know the literary genius that she was. We all know the different serials that she has written that were aired on Pakistan television. There are so many, whether it be Ana, Afshan, Shama, Arusa, and so many others. She lost her life. She passed away on this very day in Karachi in 2016 due to throat cancer. Then we'll be talking about the second death anniversary of literary icon Amjad Islam Amjad Sahab that is also being observed today. He has authored more than 40 books in his career and also received many awards, including Pride of Performance and many others. Amjad Islam Amjad, just like Fatima Suraiya Bajia, is a name to be reckoned with when it comes to Pakistan, and he leaves behind his legend of books, novels and plays. This is the lineup for today. Let's begin with our first segment, and that concerns the terrorism in Pakistan, Pakistan's efforts to thwart this terrorism, its war against this terrorism, and the involvement, direct or indirect, of the Afghan interim government and the fitna al-Kharij and all of that. That has recently been proven by the 2 dead bodies that has been accepted by the Afghan interim government. We've been joined by Major General retired Tariq Rasheed Saab to discuss more on that. He's right here with us in the studio. Sir, thank you very much to have joined us and to have come all the way through the studios. Let's begin with some of the latest incidents. 7 terrorists killed, a soldier is martyred, different encounters in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa on Sunday, whether it be in Dera Ismail Khan, whether it be in the Mir Ali Tehsil of North Waziristan. How do you see the determination of our armed forces to thwart all such attempts? Because, you know, when the Chief of the Army Staff or when our DGISPR talks about a certain number of incidents that have happened in the year 2024, that does not discount or count the number of people or number of incidents that they have thwarted before they could happen. How important is it for us as Pakistanis to realize the importance and the efforts, sincere efforts that are being put by our armed forces?
I think the resolve of armed forces is absolute. They are very clear in mind that they are the enemies of Pakistan, and we have to show zero tolerance for them. If you see that since the withdrawal of the America, or so-called the Western countries, or the NATO or ISAF in 2021, these incidents have gradually increased and they peaked in 2024. And this is 2025, and this 1.5 months, a number of incidents have happened. And daily the Jawans and of Pakistan Army and law enforcing agencies are laying down their life. But similarly, they are making sure that they cause severe damage to Fitna al-Khawarij and anybody who is involved in terrorist activities in Pakistan. So for every soldier who lays down his life, I think there are about 2 to 3 Khawarijis who are also being killed. And then we have also seen that the Pakistan army and the present government of Pakistan, led by Shehbaz Sharif Saab, they are on one page. An incident happened in Kalat, so Chief of Army Staff was the first one to visit there, followed by the Prime Minister of Pakistan. No, there is a need to also involve the local community in this fight against terrorism. For example, if any Khawariji or any terrorist element, if they see in their respective area, they should immediately report. And they need to be in confidence. So along with that, inshallah, we will soon win this war of terrorism against Pakistan.
DI Khan, KP, and then Balochistan. These are areas that are, targeted by the terrorists, mostly the fitna. I mean, I can go on and on the different incidents that have happened in the last few weeks or in the last few months. But what I want to understand is, what is the basic aim, objective of the fitna? What do they achieve by such incidents, by destabilizing or trying to destabilize Pakistan?
In my assessment, if you analyze, presently the incidents have curtailed to the border area, especially if you talk of KPK. The incidents are happening in the belt of district Karak, then Bannu, Dia Khan and North Waziristan. Now, all these areas are quite rich in mineral resources. For example, in Karak, there are huge deposits of oil and gas. You talk of North Waziristan, there is gold and copper is there. You talk of Dia Khan, there are rich deposits of gypsum there. There is a proven reserve of over 77 million ton, which has been so far discovered. Similarly, the case in Balochistan. You see, currently the incidents are happening in the area of Kalat and Amaran, Turbat and Gwadar, and also to some extent in Qila Abdullah area or Zob area. So all of these places are rich in mineral resources, and so they don't want to, this anti-state element of Pakistan, they don't want that these areas should prosper. There is an economic development activities. So we need to understand their objective. And of course, there are some dissident elements which are there in Afghanistan, and Afghanistan interim government has not been able to completely rein in them. And no, they have also been exposed by the recent statement by the President Trump that we are weekly giving them around $50 million. And then he has also lately said that we are going to stop that.
Yes.
So I think what we need to do is, while continuing with our bilateral effort to convince the Afghan governments to play a more proactive role in controlling this terrorist element on their soil, we also need to engage China, for example, and have some kind of a summit involving China, Pakistan, Iran, Afghanistan and some certain Asian state, and jointly work out a plan to eradicate this terrorism from this region.
We've had many summits in the past, Saab, in which many important countries, neighbors of Pakistan, have discussed the issue of Afghanistan, but no tangible success has been achieved as far as that is concerned. You said try to involve the Afghan interim government as far as, ending such terrorist activities is concerned. But Pakistan has done that many a times. What is stopping the Afghan interim government from taking tangible steps to stop the influx of terrorism into Pakistan?
I think one is the issue of capacity. The second issue is that they have logically, for example, they are aligned with the terrorist organization. For example, the Afghan Taliban at one time were also terrorists, and then American has to spend about over 2 decades to fight them. Then they finally withdrew in 2001. So one is the capacity issue, the other is the ideological convergence with these terrorist organizations, and second is the indirectly the financial support which they are getting. So we have to need to understand this world. For example, in Syria we found that HTS, Hayatul Tahrir al-Sham, they in a very short time they completely conquered the Syrian territory, but that was the prescribed organization by the Americans. But then later on they said, no, they have come with our support. The same game is being played in Afghanistan, that openly they say it's a terrorist, for example, they don't accept it, but tacitly they keep they keep supporting them financially. The objective is to keep Pakistan destabilized, because if the Pakistan gets stabilized, if it got economically strong, and then we don't need IMF, we don't need World Bank.
But doesn't it suit Afghanistan? If Pakistan is stable, it means Afghanistan will also become
yes,
stable.
they need to realize this, that Pakistan's stability means Afghanistan's stability. The prosperity and stability of Afghanistan mean Pakistan's stability and prosperity. I think the leader of Afghanistan need to realize this.
I hope they do realize it sooner than later. Speaking of which, you know, many a times in the past when the Afghan government officials have been asked about the presence of Afghan nationals in Pakistan who've been involved in nefarious activities, they've said this is Pakistan's internal matter and they do not belong to us. Now recently there have been 2 dead bodies and there are so many other examples of dead bodies, but I'm going to give the example of 2 dead bodies. The first, Luqman Khan, son of Kamal Khan, who's a resident of Khost district, whose dead body has been accepted by the Afghan interim government now, and he was killed in an operation on the 6th of February this very year by the Pakistani armed forces. Then the body of Ahmad alias Badruddin, who was a terrorist killed in Dera Ismail Khan, who is the son of Maulvi Ghulam Muhammad, the deputy governor of Baghtis province. These 2 bodies now have been accepted formally by the Afghan interim government as their own. Now that this has happened, there are a lot of, again, speculations, question marks by analysts, by other government officials in Pakistan as well, as to whether the Afghan interim government has finally accepted their involvement in such incidents. If so, will they move also further to neutralize such elements, and B, or were they under pressure to accept these, because there are so many other Afghan nationals who are still present and have been involved in such nefarious activities?
I think they were in a pressure, for example, in a kind of a pressure, because this has come in the media, and the families of those who have been killed here, they came to know about it. So they must be asking their Afghan government to get the dead bodies back. I think the Afghanistan government and their leadership need to realize that whatever they have gained in Afghanistan, that also a major role was played by Pakistan. And as I said, the stability and prosperity of Afghanistan is directly in the interest of Pakistan also. There is no other country in the world which is as much get affected if anything happens in Afghanistan. So we have a common vision, common share way forward. Their success is our success is their success. They need to realize that, and we need to make them realize. And then second, those countries like I gave you an example of China, because they are investing heavily in, for example, they're helping them to build a railway line, they're helping them to build dams, and then Iran is also effectively involved in this. And then certain Central Asian states like Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, who borders Afghanistan. So we need to jointly work together. We need to engage each other directly, bilaterally or multilaterally to find a common ground, so that we make sure that Afghanistan's soil is not used against any of its neighboring countries.
Do you feel there are certain elements within Pakistan or within our neighborhood that are supporting such nefarious elements like the fitna, like the Afghan interim government, or financially supporting such terrorist outfits so that they can continue to create havoc in Pakistan?
Exactly. There are irrefutable evidence that the RAW is directly involved in the terrorist activities in Pakistan by supporting such anti-state element from the Afghan soil. You see, there is the Consulate General of Afghanistan in Jalalabad. Then the Consulate General of India in Kandahar, in Jalalabad. Why have they made those consulates there? The only objective is to undermine the sovereignty of Pakistan and to keep doing as much as they can to have such kind of anti-terrorist, anti-state activity in Pakistan. But we have come a long way. We are fighting this fight of terrorism since 2021. Once the Operation Al-Mizan was launched, we have come to 2025. In between, there was a period of about 2 years when there was quite a peaceful situation in Pakistan, and Pakistan was the only country in the world who was able to surmount this huge challenge. And still Pakistan's armed forces resolve, especially of Pakistan Army, is absolute. The Pakistan professionalism of Pakistan Army has been recognized by the world. This is one of the most professional, trained and competent army. The terrorism now is on the run, for example, from Pakistan, and as I indicated to you, it's only in specific pockets. So we need to pay attention to those, keep those population or people from that area on board, and jointly work to eradicate this menace from our soil.
What I want to understand, General Sahib, is why in the recent months has there been a spike as far as such terrorist incidents is concerned. We've had an increase in the number of such incidents. We've had an increase in the number of fatalities because, of course, our armed forces are very vigilant and they have killed a lot of terrorists. Just in January, 245 fatalities, 185 militants, 40 security forces personnel and 20 civilians. And then there are reports of kidnappings and there are reports of skirmishes on the border. Why this period? Why since the last few months, in your point of view, are such terrorist outfits becoming more and more active? Is it I mean, I'm just thinking aloud. Is it because Pakistan is slowly and steadily stabilizing itself economically?
One is that you are slowly and gradually stabilizing, and then I think these anti-Pakistan elements also wants to have a last-ditch battle and make a last-ditch effort. That whatever they can do, they must do it. And but that, as I told you, they are confined to only specific regions, and we need to learn from them. The way they are, have example, had made the roadblocks in away from the population center. So we need to upgrade our intelligence system, involve local community in this war effort, war against terrorism, and also have some kind of mechanism to check anybody entering a specific districts, anybody leaving. So we need to guard these points and upgrade our strategy, and then also identify such people who are working on behest of the foreign elements, who are supporting them with dollars just for their malified intention. And especially in those areas which are rich in mineral, as I told you, in Gawadar area and other districts and divisions of Balochistan, and especially in the North Waziristan, Dia Khan and Banu and Karak areas.
All right, my last question to you, I'd like a short answer, General Sahib. You talked about the dollars. Let's talk about all the different equipment that has been found in Pakistan that is American and that has been left by the US forces when they exited Afghanistan in 2021, whether it be M16A4, M24 sniper rifles, whether it be night vision equipment and so on and so forth. There's a list of such American equipment that has been found by the Pakistani armed forces. To add to that, as you said in the beginning of our discussion, you talked about the money that was being regularly given by the previous government, and that Trump has now said he's going to stop this, this aid to the Afghan interim government. Can this stoppage of aid be used as some kind of tactic to stop the nefarious activities being patronized by the Afghan interim government?
Definitely. Once the aid is will be cut off, then they will be deprived of that line of, for example, lifeline support which they were getting. We used to get surprised why the dollar is stabilizing in Afghanistan. Why it doesn't get stabilized in Pakistan? So now we have come to know it was only $50 million every week which was being pumped into the Afghan economy. That should be one of the major reason. Now we need to learn from this. What I can say is that US, for example, while leaving, as they have accepted that over $7 billion worth of ammunition and equipment, they left it behind. And then they say that there were different 400,000 different types of weapons which they have left.
That is true, sir. And I think now is the time maybe that some kind of pressure tactic could be put by the US current government in order for Afghanistan to rethink its strategy vis-a-vis this region. Thanks, sir. I'm a bit short of time, or else I would have continued. Major General Tariq Rasheed Saab, thank you very much to have joined us and to have come all the way to the studio to discuss terrorism in Pakistan and Pakistan's war against this terrorism that has been going on since 2021. We have to go to a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Our second story today concerns the three-member technical delegation or mission that is visiting Pakistan to conduct a governance and corruption diagnostic assessment under the country's 2024 Extended Fund Facility program. This was informed to the country on Sunday by the Finance Ministry. And of course, the report that will be prepared will recommend actions for addressing different vulnerabilities and strengthening integrity and governance in Pakistan's system. How has Pakistan been faring as far as its economic progress is concerned, is it complying with the IMF demands? That and more is going to be discussed in our second story, and we have been joined in the studios by an eminent political economist, Naeem Siddiqui Saab. Thank you very much, Siddiqui Saab, to have joined us. The Finance Ministry or the government yesterday announced that the IMF was scrutinizing the regulatory system as part of the ongoing 7 billion EFF now to address governance and other vulnerabilities. Now, this is a technical mission that is here in town for around a week's time. What is the purpose or mission of this IMF team?
Omar, actually, this visit is Pakistan's 2024 extended funds facility. It is related to that. And one thing I want to make it very clear that this is not any investigative audit or the visit of the IMF. It is a supervisory role of the IMF, which IMF introduced in 2018.
All right.
Governance and Corruption Diagnostic Assessment, GCDA. Under this, recommendations are developed to combat corruption and strengthen institutional capabilities in various countries. And this is not only with the Pakistan. They have been to the many other countries for this purpose. And Pakistan is also addressing its governance deficiencies under this framework. And also, according to the IMF, economic stability is not possible without eliminating corruption and ensuring transparent governance. So, the visit of IMF three-member person from 6th to 14th of February, basically based on the fiscal governance, they want to check the fiscal governance, central bank governance and operations, financial sector oversight, market regulations, rules of law, anti-money laundering and combat the financial terrorism, AML.
So there are 6 sectors, basically
and
6
Pakistan is already working on it since long.
All right.
You see, we have done a lot of improvement and development, and Pakistan government is one of the frontline government in the world who is very extensively working on all these aspects. And if you see, our remittances have increased due to this. Our fiscal deficits is decreasing. Our trade deficit is decreasing. Our governance is improving. And we are already auditing our ministries and our institutions. If you see the report of the Financial Ministry, you will see a lot of improvement from the last year than to current this year. So this
you feel, Siddiqui Saab, that Pakistan is really compliant with the EFF and the conditionalities that has been put forward by the IMF as far as the EFF or continuity of economic progress in Pakistan is concerned?
Sir, as I said, this is a part of the 2024 extended fund facility. So we have no option. So we have already signed a deal with the IMF for $7 billion, and that is a gateway for Pakistan to make further negotiations or further deals with the multilateral and bilateral partners. So we have no issue, and I think on the other side, if you ask me what is the stance of the government of Pakistan, the government of Pakistan has very warmly welcomed this, because this will highlight the deficiencies in the different areas,
and it will allow the government to better itself,
to improve itself. So I think this is expected outcome of the visit can be strengthened fiscal and institutional governance, identification of areas required structural reforms. So this is very important, and enhance investment confidence by addressing corruption deficiencies. So this is all plus, and I assure you that next year when the new report will come, they will definitely give us a plus mark that Pakistan has compliant. And if after the visit of this IMF visit they give us a report that the government is working fine, I think it is much enough for us. And you see, this is one of the reasons that Pakistan is now, you see, our horizon is improving.
True.
And our government has trying its level best for the FDIs. Why we are trying to for the FDIs? Because we have controlled the money laundering and terrorist financing. So, this is a one area. Now, there are few things which are not in our control, but our government is trying its best to cope with the issues which are not because of Pakistan, which can be by any other country or any other person, but not because of Pakistan. Pakistan is working on the positive side. And why? Because we think that the strength is in economics.
True.
Strength is in the progress. If you see your neighbors, China is a one example that they have a $3 trillion of trade surplus, and they are our best partner. And we are learning a lot from them, and we are looking for further to improve our further economic relationship with them. Say in terms of transfer of technology, in terms of technical assistance, in terms of employment, in terms of installation of the machinery and the equipment in this country, and in terms of providing the employment to our nation. We have more than 60% people who are youth and they need job. And similarly with the Saudi Arabia, if you see these two countries on which we are as our bilateral trade, we are relying a lot that in future Pakistan, as the Prime Minister said, that we want to see $1 trillion economy in 2035.
Inshallah.
So this is the startup, and this is the way we can go to all this side. So I am very hopeful, and I have no ambiguity in this, that this will help us a lot. And if you see that, for example, we have a lot of auditors, your company, other companies, in the institution, there are a lot of, they come, they highlight your weaknesses, and then you improve them. For example, if you go for any certification, ISO certification, others, they come, they tell you, they do this, and next time they say, you did it, and this is all what we are looking. So we have to be very bright, prospective, optimistic, and see all positive, think all positive,
and
do all positive.
And better all that
Yeah.
it can be better, basically,
Bilkul.
far as our economy is concerned. Now, as far as Pakistan's economy is concerned, you've also said that it has seen remarkable improvement,
Yeah.
which shows the country's movement towards economic stability, whether it be government policies, whether it be positive ratings from international agencies, which has now led to increased foreign investment as well as stabilized stock market.
We have gone up to $12 billion as a foreign reserve. Our stock market has crossed 100,000 benchmark. We have lowered our interest rate from 22% to 12%, and we are hoping to make it more better. We have decreased our you see this inflation from 38% to 2.1%. So these are all the positive paths we are on it, and just we need to formalize it and see how government and the industrialists together can make this happen for the future of our nation.
Let's talk of industrialists. The President of the Federation of Pakistan Chambers of Commerce and Industry, Atif Akram Sheikh, says all the indicators are positive. He says the economy is stable, investment is flowing, stock exchange at its peak, as you have said. Interest rates have significantly decreased, and he says the rate might further drop as well. Another person who's the CEO of the Overseas Investors Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Abdul Aleem, says foreign exchange reserves have increased, you have said, to 12 billion. State Bank has cleared all dividends and remittances that were previously stuck for foreign investments as well. These are very good indicators, but in your point of view, what more needs to be done by our government in order to further accentuate this stability?
Sir, this is a very important question. Atif Akram is known to us, and he has very wisely said that government is on its right path. But what further we can do is this, that we have to make a consistent policies. We have to introduce a long-term policies, say not 10 years. We should come with a vision at 2040. And 2040 means that we should give the policies up to 2040. We should take into the confidence of the industries and the industry and the SME sector both. And we should ensure them that government will help you. For example, if you see what is the demand of the industrialists, are the traders, are the businessmen, they say lower the tax rate. If you see, if you lower the tax rate will the tax base will expand. And when the tax base will expand, for example, 10,000 people are paying 9 trillion, for example, then if the 100,000 will pay 15 trillion. So, this is how the government should look into it and should facilitate them, and then the electricity, and then the trade policies, and then the export policies, and then to help them to find the international new markets. And this is where, if you see the new world order, as you are seeing nowadays, a lot of things are changing in the world. So, here we have to learn, and our the bureaucracy particularly should think on the new policy framework for the Pakistani export, because the export is the most important thing. Our diaspora is definitely at the moment is doing its best, that we are hoping that we should have $36 billion remittance by the end of this year, maybe more. And I hope that next year we will be having the 50 billion roughly plus minus. At the same time, what is the deficient is the export. We are unable to boost our export to the level where it is required. We need at least $50 to $60 billion export. That is very important. Now, there is one area which we have to discuss, that is IT.
Of course. Speaking of IT, the Minister for State Information Technology and Communication, Shahzad Fatma Khaja, was addressing the LEAP 2025 technology event in Riyadh very recently, and she talked about Pakistan's commitment to leveraging technology for economic growth, and she talked about the Pakistan hosting the Digital Foreign Direct Investment Forum very soon as well. When I'd like to understand how important is this commitment from the Pakistani side to leverage technology for economic growth? How important is technology for economic growth?
This is very important. The one plus is this, that we have a youth educated and they are good at English, they can speak and they can work round the clock. We should find out the market. There is a lot of market in the world. We should give a proper bandwidth to the people in Pakistan. If we can give the proper bandwidth, then our people can work hard and they work more. For example, at the moment they say we have $2 billion plus minus export. It is not 2 billion, it is much more than that, because there are a lot of startups and people working at their own level for the international market. We need to just regularize it. There should be, there can be a regulatory body, you can say, but not a regulatory body in terms of any enforcement, in terms of facilitation. You ask them, go work and bring dollars. I assure you, sir, right here, that we have a potential from 10 to 15 billion dollars in IT, and not far away. Within next 2 years, we can achieve this target, provided we can be facilitated properly, and we can give the policies, long-term policies, and ask them to enjoy their business. And I tell you, we can do a lot. And the second important thing is the blue economy. Nowadays, you are seeing a lot of work is being done on it, and yesterday also in the newspaper you have seen. It's a very big market for Pakistan. Another $5 billion market at least. You see, the Pakistan is trying his level best for the peace in Afghanistan, because we have a big Central Asian market, and we can facilitate up to Russia through our warm water. So, it is an untapped area which we need to address, and we need to make the policies, and then from there we can, it's the cheapest way of transportation, you know, the sea, but we have a large area. Even we can facilitate China's the western side through this our route. So, we have to, I think these two areas, IT and the blue economy, these two we have to address. And as you said, this digital and then artificial intelligence and then blockchain, these are the new things which are coming up in the market, and these are the areas which we need to address with the help of our foreign missions, the foreign commercial counselors, and giving us and helping us to find out the market in those areas. For the Middle East is a very big market, Africa is a very big market, America and Europe already we are working, and we still have to find out a lot of market in this area. And I assure you, It's all green. I am looking for the future.
All right. Even in the blue economy, it's all green. A lot of rating agencies have praised Pakistan's economic progress, the latest being Fitch, the US-based Fitch agency, that talks about the strong remittance inflows, that talks about the robust agricultural exports from Pakistan and the tight policy settings. And it has that all of these factors and many, many more are contributing towards Pakistan's economic stability and rebuilding its external buffers. How do you view these steps, and in your point of view, the acknowledgement by important agencies such as Fitch, do these further prompt other international investors to come to Pakistan and invest in different sectors?
Obviously, I just slipped agriculture. Agriculture is 21% of the GDP.
True.
And I last time also I explained about the agriculture income. This is the income on which our country can facilitate whole Middle East, even the Africa. We need to just attract new technologies, new ways, increasing the yield per acre. These are the areas, and then the further you see the development in the seeds. For example, we are lacking a lot on our cotton crops, at one point of time we used to have 16 million bales per year, and today we are just between 4 and 5. So these are the area, and because the cotton is the only crop which can give you multifold value addition export.
So we need to, you say you need to look into that as well, but nevertheless Pakistan's economy is on the right track, whether it be by the acknowledgement of ratings such as Fitch, or whether it be through the agencies such as the IMF that are also seeing that Pakistan is moving in the right direction. Thank you very much, Naeem Siddiqui sahab, to have joined us, to have come all the way to the studios to discuss Pakistan's economic progress. Let's come to our last stories very quickly. The first concerns a maritime incident that has happened near the Libyan coast that has involved Pakistani nationals. The embassy in Tripoli is, of course, moving robustly to see whether any Pakistani nationals are involved and how many, and then, of course, informing their relatives as well about what happened. Now, this is a vessel that was carrying approximately 65 passengers that has capsized near the port of Marsadela in the northwest of Zawiya city in Libya. A team has been dispatched by the Pakistan embassy in Tripoli to Zawiya to assist the local authorities to identify the deceased, as well as the crisis management unit of the MOFA, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, that is quite robust in order to ascertain whether any Pakistanis are part of those who have perished in this incident. Next is the 9th death anniversary of Fatima Suraiya Bajia, novelist, renowned novelist, whether it be Shama, Afshan, Rusa, Anna, Tasveer, and so many others, other memorable plays that have been telecast on Pakistan television as well. She is a name to be reckoned with. She passed away 9 years ago on this very day in 2016 due to throat cancer, and of course our prayers are with her as well as with her family. Finally, the second death anniversary of literary icon Amjad Islam Amjad is also being observed today. He has written over 40 different books. His plays have also been telecast on Pakistan television: Samandar, Waqt, Fishar, Raat, Din, and Incharge, and so many others. He also left us on 2023 on this very day in Lahore, and our deepest condolences and prayers also go to him and his family. With that, we come to an end of today's newsroom. We'll see you inshallah tomorrow with new story segments that pertain to us, you and Pakistan. Stay safe. Allah Hafiz.